It's that time again. It's the Burky and the Badger Board Game Babble Show. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wacky. It might even get a little zany. We're going to talk about board games and the board game industry. And, you know, we might talk about anything else we want to talk about. Hey, hey, hey! It's Burky, it's Badger, and the Board Game Babble Show! Hey, hey, Babblites! Welcome to the wonderful kingdom of Babblot. I'm your rightful honorable King Burky, and I'm the host of this elegant podcast that is streamed live with StreamYard direct from Babblot, where everybody is a board game enthusiast, including your humble, very humble king, to the master of wardrobe, yes. And speaking of the lowest of low, the master of wardrobe, here is our co-host and court gesture, Sir Badger the Brave.
With a hey nonny no and a shake of your pom-pom. Woo! How you doing, everybody? I am the master of wardrobe who is running out of clothes because they're all getting too small.
Oh, too small.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't have any problem with my clothes getting too small. I just have problems with me getting too big. I'll tell you what, I'm excited about today's show. It's been a fast and furious ride with a ton of things going on, but I have really been looking forward to this show. Do you want to give us a quick recap of what we're doing and then introduce our guest?
Okay, no problems. What's happening on this show? This is episode number 78, and we're going to quickly talk about what's been happening in Babblot, in the North Palace area, and in the slums where I live down in the south. And then we're going to jump into our poll, and our poll is from last week's show. Well, not last week's show. What show do I think I am on? Our poll is from our last show, which was sometime last month. And so we're going to recap over that and see what you voted for. And then we're going to interrogate our special guest prisoner, guest person, Mr. Stephen Bonocoure from, I don't need to say Stronghold Games because everybody knows Mr. Bonocoure.
Of course, he's your godfather.
Yes. We are going to interrogate him, see if he can worm his way out of our prison for committing the crime of building a stronghold fort right next door to our stronghold fort, which is illegal. There's social distancing. Social distancing is important. But anyway, yes, we'll be interrogating him before going into our Babble section, where we're going to be talking about backing the comeback.
So are you going to bring Sir Stephen coming back in?
Okay, yes. Let's knock on the prison cell. There we go. And there he is.
Welcome. Let me out. I'm not a bad guy, really. How you doing, guys?
Very well. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Stephen. So glad to have you on the show again.
Glad to be here. This is awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
I tell you, I was thinking about this earlier because it was a couple years ago, I think, that we had you on the show. And but my first introduction to Stephen Bonocoure, the Stephen Bonocoure, the Podfather himself, was when I was starting out in the hobby, being the sheriff of Nottingham. And you know, I remember the first time I met him and he kind of looked at me with this, what the heck? Who is this guy? But over the years, Stephen and I have been able to encounter one another at a lot of get-togethers, particularly the Secret Cabal Gaming podcast meetups, had cigars together and just been able to enjoy each other's company, but also be able to fellowship at the conventions and at the gaming shows. And Stephen, without trying to butter your bread too much, you've just been one of the people in the industry that I've highly respected and was really, really privileged and honored to meet and to learn from.
Thank you, Burky. That's a very, very nice introduction, which I will try to live up to some of that. But no, I've really enjoyed our relationship over the years. It's you still are the sheriff of Nottingham, or the king of your own stronghold over there. And it's been great. I mean, that's and you know, if maybe it's even a good segue. It's like the single biggest thing that I miss right now, this year, this crazy year of 2020, that I'm not seeing any of you guys, and I will not see any of you guys at any shows for the entire year. I mean, we shut the whole thing down in like February. The last person I had to see was Tom Vassell at Dice Tower West.
That's horrible.
But, and now I'm not going to see anybody. I'm not going to see you guys. I'm not going to see the fans. I'm not going to see my friends, my industry friends, and just fans of Stronghold. And that's been really, really painful. I consider myself a raging extrovert. I love being around people. So the whole isolation thing, regardless of how wonderful it is here, with my girlfriend here, and I live in South Florida. It's just gorgeous here. Still, not being on the road, missing like 14 shows, which is what it's going to be between when this thing started and the end of the year. Definitely sucks. It just sucks. There's no two ways about it. So, but we've got some things to talk about that maybe will be helping others out there, right, to reestablish gaming.
I noticed this. We weren't going to do a things that make us go section that we normally do, because we're going to do a little bit shorter show today than normal. Normally we do 5 hours, and so we've decided to cut it down to just a slightly less than that, 4 hours maybe. So don't worry. Yeah, we'll get through it. But with everybody, with all the conventions canceling, we started to see a resurgence of some virtual conventions. Paul Grogan just did Virtual Con in the UK. CMON did their own virtual expo. Just last weekend, Board Game Geek did a virtual con with the Dice Tower. Yep. I only had an opportunity to tune in a couple times. I'm just swamped out of my mind, but I was able to jump into a couple things and saw some things that Derek Porter did that was remarkable with
the karaoke.
Oh yeah, with the rock star, thing. It was super fun.
Missed it. Oh.
And it gave us a little bit of normality where we could actually still see people and feel like we're slightly connected. And I realize now, BGG, I just saw an announcement that they just acquired Tabletop Entertainment or
Tabletop Events, tabletop.events, which is
Events, which is a virtual platform that they've been very happy with, and that was having some difficulties, as I understand it, and not knowing if they could continue. And Scott Alden and them negotiated and worked out an arrangement so that they could manage that platform so that they could continue to provide high quality content.
Right. So specifically, thank you for putting that up. So specifically, Tabletop Events has been a way, and I have no affiliation with them. I just know of them because if you look at the conventions that are on their list, you have probably gone to some of those conventions. They've the convention organizers would use this to manage the convention, get tickets for events, put the schedules up there. But due to all of the cancellations, tabletop.events, that's the exact website, was going under. They had to refund all the money. There's all these processing fees. They were going to go under. BGG, Scott Alden negotiated, and they have acquired the platform. The gentleman, and I forgot his name, I apologize, who owned it, is still going to stay on to help run that. And now, and this thing was only for physical conventions. BGG has just used it for the virtual convention that was Virtual Gaming Con in association with Dice Tower. And now I can just see the evolution of this platform to now be able to do both physical cons and virtual cons. And there's a few things in there that you can see that we all saw that we're like, okay, this obviously is geared toward a physical con, but now with a virtual con, they'll be able to expand the functionality. That's going to become a great platform to help con organizers run their conventions both virtually and physically, into 2021 and beyond.
Yeah. That's amazing. You'll be able to go to like 3 conventions at the same time, virtually, and one actual physical one. So while you're at Gen Con, you can go to Essen and...
And actually, I'd like to even make this point that this is something that came to me over the weekend. So I spent a lot of time at Virtual Gaming Con. I spent every morning for 2 hours doing something like this. I just showed up. I called it.
Sorry, I thought you meant like miming. It's television. 3 words.
I called it. I had it on the schedule called Breakfast with Bonocoure, and every morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time, I just show up and we would talk. I would just talk to fans and friends, and literally, I was talking to people even more from Europe and Asia than from the United States. A lot of people who have no local conventions ever, like the guy from Malaysia was like, we have no local conventions here. I can't go to conventions. This is amazing. Woman from Singapore she was like, this is great. I would never be able to go to BGG Spring or Dice Tower East, which is kind of what this was replacing. I'm so happy to do this. And I get to connect with all these people to promote the company, to show them that I'm a real person. I care about gamers, and I want to talk to you about my games and about the industry. And it was great. And then I played Terraforming Mars Digital with a whole bunch of people all weekend. We had a Terraforming Mars death match on Sunday. It was Bonocoure versus Scott Alden and Jeff Anderson from Board Game Geek and Jason Levine and Z Garcia from the Dice Tower. And the five of us played. Tom Vassell was invited, but he chickened out. So
didn't Z end up winning or something?
The winner was Z Garcia, who had only played once before, like with a real person. He played with me. I had beaten him and Tom in a playthrough we did about 3 weeks ago. He practiced some more on the digital game, and he ended up winning as the dark horse. I was like booking odds. I was like putting up the odds for everybody to win and stuff like that. He won. Jason Levine, the gaming machine, came in dead last because he was playing on his phone. And I told him, get it on Steam on your computer. He goes, oh, I do all my gaming. I gave him a free code anyway. I said, get it on Steam. You can't. So the whole time he was saying, it was the phone. It was the phone. So I'm making up T-shirts now that says it was the phone.
Yeah.
It was a great time. And I think that this is going to be a model for going into the future. We're in the future, not only are we going to have these virtual gaming cons, we're going to have a marriage between physical and virtual. I think every major convention, every one, as soon as we can get back together, is going to have both a in-person track, of course, that'll be the biggest part, and a virtual section as well.
Well,
Gen Con, everyone next year.
How cool is that? Because when we do normal conventions, you always have, like when Gen Con, you had the big Gen Can't type of movement, and so people that couldn't go, that wanted to go, and we'll have media people streaming information live from the actual conventions for those that can't attend, and and hopefully the world gets back to normal where we're able to join one another again. But what a fabulous platform. And I know there was a couple other things during this whole time. I'm like you, Stephen. I want to be around people, and it's challenging when you're not. You can feel that emotional drain by not being around, because I get fueled up being around people.
Absolutely, 100% true.
Yeah, when I'm alone, I get more depressed, so I want to be around people. But one thing that we did is, I have some good friends in the hobby. Brian Pope, the owner of Arcane Wonders, Rick Strand, who used to work with Eagle Griffin, and Ryan Bruns, former president at Mayday Games. And we get together every other week and have a virtual cigar party.
You have been doing that this whole, during COVID?
We've had about 3 or 4 of them where we just get together, hang out a little bit, talk about cigars, just enjoy some time out on the deck. And for me, it's so hard for me to take any time away from business. We're in the middle of fulfillment and things are crazy, and I'm just working like a dog. But it was one of those things that was a self-care thing for me. And I know you did something very similar to that, where you did some I haven't been able to attend any of them. It hasn't worked with the timing, but you were doing something, right, Stephen, with a kind of a get together and a.
So first of all, I got to check my spam folder, because I'm sure that my invitation to your virtual cigar parties are in there. So I'll go check that after the show. After the show, I'm going to check that. And if I don't have an invitation in there that happened, we're going to have a problem.
You know, when did I ever refuse an accommodation to my good friend Stephen Bonocoure?
This is something that Burky and I do constantly. We both try to like out Godfather each other.
You know, he's a good friend, and I show him a lot of respect. He's very welcome into our environment.
What have I done to deserve this disrespect from you?
No, this is
I thought you were a friend. I thought that
you're part of the family, and
You've got to put these in your mouth.
Than the family.
Put them in your mouth first.
Oh God!
You know, I forgo any vendetta, and I hope that you forgo any vendetta, and you join us for the virtual cigar party.
I want an invitation. You mentioned like 3 of like my favorite people in the industry just now, right?
Well, you know,
Ryan,
I have connections, and I can see what I can do for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And then someday you'll owe me a favor.
And then someday, and I hope that day will never come, you will owe me. You will and grant me that day.
Anyway, all right. So, and before I continue, a quick shout out to Kabuki Kid, who's a friend of mine, a virtual friend of mine. We've never met in person, from New Jersey, and she always like moderates the Dice Tower live thing. So Kabuki, good to see you in the thread there.
And Trent Turner's in the house. Trent Turner's in the castle, and along with Napalm the Verbose.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining. This is wonderful to see a nice group here. But you asked me about the thing that I'm doing virtually.
Yeah.
Right? See, a good segue. So I invite everybody out there who is out there now or will listen in the future to come to one of I do a bi-weekly, so every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time and every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And I've been doing this every week for 14 weeks. So we're now going to be in our 29th time we're going to be doing this. It's called Happy Hour at the Stronghold.
Happy Hour at the Stronghold.
I do not go through Stronghold Games releases. It's not about publicizing the company. It's literally about, I started it because people were alone. I was alone, basically, right? Me, my girlfriend, my cat, not seeing anybody. Hard. And a lot of people who show up are literally alone. They live alone. We get together, we laugh, we keep it positive. If you'd like, you share a drink, or a glass of water, whatever your selected poison is, and we just have a funny time. And I can be kind of a humorous guy when presented with comic things. Sometimes I post crazy memes from the web, and we talk about ridiculous. There's an ongoing joke about Bonocoure's underwear that gets discussed. I'm not gonna talk about it now, though.
Is that the face mask version that you're using now?
I'm not going to talk about it exactly how that started, but if you would have been there for one of those first ones, you would have seen Bonocoure in his underwear. But how was I wearing that underwear? Anyway,
nobody's surprised about that. Everybody does that now.
It's a lot of fun to find out how to get to Happy Hour at the Stronghold. Be a friend of mine on Facebook or follow me on Facebook, either one, and then you'll be able to see events Stephen is host, events Bonocoure is hosting, and you click there and you'll see it. It's every Thursday 7 p.m. Eastern, every Sunday 4 p.m. Eastern until the world reopens. So I plan on doing this for as long as it takes.
7 p.m. Thursday.
That would be your time, of course. That would be 6 p.m., right?
Yeah.
And Sunday, yes, and Sunday at 3 p.m. your time or 4 p.m. my time. A lot of Europeans show up for the Sunday one because it's obviously more friendly to people out in Europe.
That's cool. Well, I commend you for that. That's fantastic. And
1
I think
a.m.
that's
for me.
what a lot of what we're trying to do in media today, too, is to try to do some stuff that's just fun and lighthearted and allow people to continue to sense community, right?
Right. Well, Badger, where are you? You're in England, aren't you?
I'm in France.
So that would be 5-hour difference, 9 p.m. No?
7. 6 for you, 7 for me.
Yeah.
6. Okay, so 6. So it's 10 p.m. That's not bad. 10 p.m. if you want to come in. We usually get 2-3 Germans. We've gotten people from the UK, all over the world, and it's kind of cool.
I'm a German too.
Even those Canadians show up, you know.
Can't trust those pesky Canadians.
There you go. So
Barry, have you been getting back to normality a little bit there over in France, or?
I had a glimpse of normality. The kids went to school. My wife went back to work full time. And then it ended pretty abruptly when the school really couldn't handle the kids going back and the social distancing. And so they cut the courses very short. My wife, as you know, went for an operation on her elbow. So she's at home. And the little one's at home as well. So everybody's back home full time, which makes working from home, as you know, quite hard to do when someone walks in. Hopefully nobody's going to walk in the door this time. But when your little one walks in because they miss you and they want to say goodnight and stuff like that. So, yeah, so it's that they are a great distraction. But unfortunately, my workload is starting to pop out through my ears. And and that left me thinking about what is normality, because every day normality just slightly tweaks itself. You know, normality a couple of years ago, I had no backache, but that was a couple of years ago. But anyway, I digress. I just went into a really steep depression of like, what the hell is normality? Is there such a thing? Are we going to be able to play? I had my friends come round, my best friends come round, and we were going to review a game. Did we play the game? No, due to the fact that we got kids and the kids are taking up all the time, and then we're trying to catch up on all the things that have been going on in our lives since we've been locked up. And it's like, well, we spent the whole day talking, which is nice, but we never got to play.
There is certainly a new normal, right? That is the case, and it's going to last for a while. No, there's no doubt about that. But again, I'm the most optimistic person about the whole thing, that we will get through this. We will together get through this. It's not easy. Yeah. It's much harder on some. Thank God. The company is doing fantastically. We're able to work. Is almost no change. There was a drop in sales through standard hobby distribution for a month or so, but Amazon sales are through the roof. So Stronghold is 10% ahead of last year, which is insane to think about that. So, but other things that have actually come up that are actually very good, possibly forget the company and and the industry in general, but like I have reconnected with so many people now. Like all of my, as you guys probably know, I moved from New Jersey. I moved from New Jersey. I used to live in New Jersey, and now I'm living in Florida. Been 2.5 years now in Florida, and over that course of time, while I still talk to my New Jersey friends, emails, and a calls, a lot of them have come down and spent a few days or a week down here. You don't have the same level of contact once you leave an area where you are gaming at least once, if not twice a week. Now I get together with them basically every Saturday night, and we play games online together. That's fantastic. So that's happened. I talk to my mother, my 80-year-old mother, who is absolutely alone. She's not allowed out. She can't go play canasta with the girls and stuff like that. It's too dangerous.
But I love canasta. We should always play canasta.
Canasta is the game to play. She plays that in her active adult community. She's very, very mobile. She gets out there. She actually very mobile, very together, but she's lonely. Call her even more often than I've ever called her, and I'm like the bad son. There's 4 of us, all boys. I'm the bad son. I call the least. I call a lot now. And my brother who's local, who's like a mile away, he goes over, buys her the groceries. Hey, Mom, stay home, get you the groceries, and hangs out outside the house, and they talk and spend some time together. So it's these little things that maybe are a bright side to all of these things. And of course, we've now rediscovered other ways to connect. I'm on Zoom constantly. I'm on these kinds of things constantly. So all of these little things are little bright spots in a very dark time that we're living through.
But as human beings, we adapt, and
we do.
And that's the great thing. We've adapted, and this has become the new norm. And who knows where it's going to go from here? Maybe we won't ever have any physical cons ever again. It'll be virtual with 3D glasses and
I
gloves
really
feel
have the mindset
pieces.
that we will we will figure this out. And you know, this is one of the great things I think about humanity, and a lot of ingenuity. And I keep continuing to. I see people too who are struggling, and my heart always goes out to them, and just offering sometimes some encouragement and some encouraging words and some different thoughts than you might be experiencing. Like a simple thought like, better days are ahead. Because when you're focused on the moment where it's not feeling good, you can think, okay, but better days are ahead. Tomorrow might be a better day. Tomorrow I might have that next opportunity. Tomorrow I might meet someone else that becomes one of my best friends. Tomorrow might be another day into the future that's, you know, and those kind of thoughts are really what the world needs right now, I think, and really to encourage one another as we're going through, not deny the difficult times, but encourage one another through them.
That's absolutely the case. And that's what I do at Happy Hour at the Stronghold. So I invite everybody listening. You can invite friends, whatever. I can't just put the link like in an absolute public place because hackers will show up. But if you're a friend of mine, and I will friend everybody who's a real gamer out there, or you're following me on Facebook, you can get the link, and it's the same link. We do it every week. So come hang out, enjoy some positivity at Happy Hour.
I think we better get moving on to our game show with our prisoner. That's going to be super fun. But before we do so, we want to talk quickly about our sponsor, Arcane Wonders. Do you have that video queued up there, my friend?
I do. And I can see it behind you. It's behind you.
Foundations of Rome.
The city-building board game Foundations of Rome puts you in the role of an architect, competing to own land and build magnificent structures. Build doomises, fountains, foundries, and more to increase your renown, gain glory for yourself and the Empire. With 96 wonderfully detailed miniatures in the base game, Foundations of Rome is a testament to the glory of Rome that you can bring to the table. Ooh, I can't wait to get mine.
That looks awesome. I love blinged out games.
Oh, I gotta tell you, we're gonna talk about your project here in a few moments. But when it comes to Arcane Wonders, I've been such good friends with that whole team there for many, many years, from the Sheriff of Notting to Ham to actually being on the front cover of Spoils of War and being the Viking chieftain and the king and royals, you know, these games that are very enduring to me that I still think. Just this last Father's Day, we actually got to play Royals. We hadn't played it in a couple years, and good grief, we had so much fun. It's one of those family weight games. It's not overly intense, but a lot of strategy and a little bit of take that. And we just had so much fun doing that. And Arcane Wonders has provided that type of experience to so many. And when Foundations of Rome hit, from one of my favorite designers, Emerson Matsuuchi, the guy is brilliant and one of the super nicest guys in the industry. I love him to death. This game is fantastic. I've played this game with 7 different groups of people, and everyone went away from that game going, this was fantastic. We just love this. It's not overly complex, but tons of things happening. With all the expansions that happened during the Kickstarter, you can still go in and late pledge and get this fantastic production. This is not going to be available in normal distribution because of the immensity of the project and the manufacturing process. This was basically a Kickstarter type of exclusive, the exception of some copies that they might have at some shows. And we also had the honor and the privilege to work with them, with our artist, Jaroslav Radecki, who did Reavers of Midgard. He did our Roman-themed map. And this was inspired by the artwork of Foundations of Rome. And talk about that process of working with that art, with our artist, and we were able to make that particular map. It is so gorgeous and thematic to so many different type of games that are Roman themed, but particularly Foundations of Rome. And you can still late pledge for that premium 3mm stitched edge Game Topper map. And we'll be making that available in our other Game Topper sizes in the future. It's in the late pledge manager, so that's why you won't see it probably right there.
Oh yeah, okay.
We sold over 1,500 of those mats through that Kickstarter. So people are super jazzed about getting that. But that I mean, you could play Trajan Forum on that mat, any Roman themed game that's out there. So
Colosseum.
Forum Trajanum.
Forum Trajanum.
Get it right. Or Trajan.
Or like your designer series. I just lost it. I had it. It was from your designer series game. I love that game.
Porta Nigra.
Porta Nigra.
Oh.
Those are the two Roman themed games I believe I have in my catalog.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. You could play Concordia on it. You could play, Carpe Diem. You could play so many wonderful Roman themed games on that mat. But anyway, Arcane Wonders, check out their website, arcanewonders.com. You can go there and late pledge for Foundations of Rome. And they have specials on a lot of their other games right now as well. And with that, Stephen, before we just jump right into what game is behind the door, you are running a very special project now that I know is dear to your heart. In fact, I think I have my copy sitting right there.
Yes.
For Terraforming Mars. Tell us about what's happening with that Kickstarter.
Right. Small game called Terraforming Mars. So
very small.
Yeah. Nobody knows about that. So
hey, insignificant things are important.
Yeah. Hey, don't talk about my insignificant thing. Never mind. It's a family show. Anyway, Terraforming Mars right now on Kickstarter, and it's only for less than 3 more days. So if you, from the time that you're hearing my voice till sometime on what's that? That would be what's today? Today's Monday, right? No, today's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So sometime on Friday, the Kickstarter before noon, I believe, the Kickstarter is going to end. It's called Terraforming Mars Big Box. If you can throw the link up, I don't know if you have the link. If you can throw the link into the chat, that'd be great. What is in Terraforming Mars Big Box besides it being a big box? First of all, the box itself. Here's Terraforming Mars behind me. The box is about 3 times the size of that. So it will fit into one of your cubby holes for your Kalex. Don't worry about that.
Okay, good. There's the link.
You put it out there. Thank you very much. So what is it? In Terraforming Mars Big Box, you're going to get all 3D terrain to use in the game. So all the special tiles in the game are now a unique 3D tile. You can see like the various ones are popping up there in the video. You're going to get different. You're going to get ones for the greenery, and there's 4 or 5 different greeneries, but they'll all function the same. There's 6 different, I believe, 6 different city tiles. They'll all function the same. All 3D markers for Terraforming Mars, and the coolest thing, it's going to be a complete storage solution for everything you have. If you can scroll down a little bit more, it shows the storage solution here, which I call gamer porn. You can see all the different tiles here. I'm going to show you some pornography right now. Here we go. Coming up. Here we go. This storage solution. When I saw this, Travis put together the initial thing, and then I saw the artist rendition of it. I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. It all stacks up together in different trays, and then you put that in the box, and then you put it on your shelf all together. So I am so pumped about this project. It's now it's about 2.1 million US dollars. You saw the number there in British pounds. It's about $2.1 million. And almost
fantastic.
Not in British pounds, sorry, in euros. That'd be about the same, I think, in pounds, right?
A little bit more.
Yeah, and it's 17. You can see almost 17,600 backers. So, huge successful project for us. You have a few more days. It's going for $99. You also get promo cards that will not be in the retail version, and the retail version is going to be close to $150. So you're going to get a significant discount by buying it on the Kickstarter. Though nothing exclusive, those cards I don't believe in exclusives. The cards will go at some point to like the Board Game Geek store, or we'll go sell them at conventions. But for now, you won't be able to get those cards. So get the big box. Go check it out. You only have a few more days to do so.
So I have a question. Like I have all the expansions, but I have a broken token insert. and then with the special wood for the player boards.
Yep.
Will those player boards still work in the new storage solution and things like that?
So guess what we did exactly, because we know there's a significant number of people that have already done a lot of blinging of their game with the broken token and other inserts. Yeah. Instead, we have what we call the small box. So the big box is $99. The small box, which is still a big box, is I think it's a little bit bigger than the Terraforming Mars box. Maybe it's like this. It'll only contain the 3D tiles and the storage solution for those. Everything else that you have, you'll be putting into your solution that came from a third party. So you'll have 2 boxes sitting there. So we did take into consideration that exact thing. The one thing we didn't do was produce an empty box. So some people said, I don't want any of this. I just want a big box. I want a box to put all my stuff in. I'm like, I'm not selling an empty box, guys. If you are if it's so important for you to put your stuff together into some empty box, go DIY a box, right? Go do it yourself box. Take the art.
I got a table saw. I'll make my own box.
Yeah, I mean, just make your own box and put the our art. You can go copy it on a scanner and then plop it on the box.
It even says you can copy his art. That's a new thing.
Use it for your own, not to sell it.
Not to sell it, not to eBay and Etsy it or anything.
Not allowed.
I heard something different there.
But anyway, that's the project right now. Only in less than 3 days left. So if you're interested in it, and I hope a lot of people out there listening are, it is absolutely gorgeous.
It looks amazing.
Thank you, buddy.
I'm tempted.
I backed it right away within the second day that I got it. I actually backed the big box. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep both of them.
But I know a friend who spent last year. He bought a 3D printer, and then he spent every night he would set it off, printing off some terrain for his version of Terraforming Mars. He's going to be,
Well, I think this is fantastic. People love that game. It's a brilliant game. It's one of our family's favorites. We love to play it. So super excited. I've never played it solo. I'm not much of a solo gamer, but that's the one game that I've been thinking about doing that with.
Wouldn't it be good to not play solo?
It is a great solo game. There's a lot of people have logged so many solo plays of Terraforming Mars. So, which also, of course, helps people like during this time if they're home and they don't have their gamers coming over and their significant other's not a gamer, you can play it.
Congratulations! That's fantastic. I'm so happy for the success of that. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Tell Dice Odyssey there that no, he should definitely tell your friend, not may have to tell him. Definitely tell your friend about it. Come on. Hey, if your friend has this whole thing, he's going to play it with you probably. So you want to
come to my podcast and then you say you may. You don't make a definitive statement. I don't understand this thing.
You looking at me?
Oh, you looking at me?
Insinuate? That's the wrong film. Sorry. Oh.
All right. With that, we have our prisoner, Sir Stephen of Bonocoure, and he is going to join us in What Game is Behind the Door?
Someone in Babblot has been a very naughty person and been thrown into the dungeons of Babblot.
But Burky and Badger are nice people, and they're going to give them 3 questions to try and worm their way out of their prison sentence in What Game is Behind the Door?
Nice video.
I'm going to have to change the music, I think.
By the way, Kabuki Kid, I saw in the chat, you said we have actually met at Jeff Engelstein game party. So I don't know who you are. At least friend me on Facebook so I know who you are. Come on. It's so funny.
I just had a guy that backed our Game Toppers late pledge, and he made a full-blown video, but there was no tagging in it. And I just happened to come across it on YouTube the other day. It was done 2 months ago. He did this huge unboxing video. It was fantastic. The guy was having so much fun just putting it all together and all that. And then I found out about it and I reached out to him right away. He says, dude, tag me here. I want to know who you are.
We got to get tagged. We got to connect with people. That's what we want to do. All right, let's play this game.
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna ask 3 questions. The first question, we're doing this in the game show style. We're gonna have to close down the chat, people, so we don't see the answers. Because you guys at home who are in the chat, you can try and guess, and then we'll scroll through and see who actually beat us. So we're gonna ask 3 questions to Stephen, see if he can escape by conversing. Oh dear, the tongue is turning into French. Not turning Japanese, but so we're gonna ask 3 questions. The first question is, what was the last game that Stephen purchased? And we're gonna do this in a kind of 20 questions fashion, where he answers either yes or no. After we've both asked a question each, he's going to show everybody on the camera a one component from this game, and we're gonna do this 5 times and hopefully solve the mystery.
I gotta show a component from the game.
Yes,
that was in the document that you were supposed to read.
Okay, well, I gotta open it. It's sitting right over here. I'm gonna open it right now.
Don't let us see it.
Oh no!
No, you can let us see it if you want.
I can't let you see it because then they'll see it.
Yeah, then we win. I'm not opposed.
It's so funny. I was a little busy. I didn't read because I'm a jerk. I'm sorry. Don't worry. This makes fun of your video. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's had 2 weeks of script to read it.
I wasn't worried about it. I knew that he'd come through.
Yeah,
a proclivity for these things.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks and I couldn't do it. 2 weeks.
Wrong film. Sorry.
This is great.
Okay. What's your first question? Turn off the chat, Barry.
What is the first question anyway?
The first question you normally ask is, does it come in a standard size Ticket to Ride box? Is that going to be your question?
Well, of course, duh. Doy.
I should answer that now?
Yes.
Well, my first question is always that standard question. Is it in a standard Ticket to Ride size box?
And the answer is no.
No.
Okay, my question is this game published by Stronghold?
No.
No, he didn't purchase his own game. He purchased like 10,000 of them. Now he's going to purchase 10 million of them.
I thought I'd try a different question instead of the usual, is it a Euro game? Oh.
We're playing to win the game.
Okay,
You're playing to win the game.
You play to win the game. Do you know that video?
Oh,
There was a video of a coach who screams that at like the reporters. That's hysterical.
It was Coach Dennis Green, the former Minnesota Viking coach. Yeah.
Search out that video. It's hysterical.
Hilarious.
Play to win the game. It's awesome.
We are who we thought they were.
Okay.
If you're an American football fan.
Yeah, I need a compression on my video or my audio, don't I?
So, Steve is now going to show us one of the components, and then we're going to try and guess the game from there if he's punched it in time.
I've got a whole bunch of things here, so I will show, because we don't want it to happen like too quickly, but this is your first component.
Okay, this looks like a hex tile.
It is not
hexagon.
Actual, it's not truly hexagonal.
No, it's like six-sided.
It's got a lot of. I can show you both sides. It'll be fair, I guess. It's the same, I think, on both sides.
Double-sided printing. Kind of looks like terrain. Oh, that looks like a catapult or something.
I will tell you what it is. Let me see if I can make it out.
Wooden rubble.
It is a crushed, like cart or could be catapult, but it's crushed, like cart. It's been like destroyed. It's been destroyed.
Interesting. All right. My second question, is this a predominantly Euro game?
It is not predominantly a Euro game.
Not Euro. I know you like your Euros.
Okay.
I am actually much more of a thematic game player. That's
really
much more. I produce a lot of Euros, but I know my market.
Okay, well,
I'm a thematic game player mostly.
Okay, so my question is, Is this game a thematic game?
Oh, did you like maybe steal that idea? Yes.
Boy.
This would be a thematic styled game.
All right.
See, why can't
He
you
just
get
wants
yes
to see
answers?
your
Why
toys.
is it always
He
me
just wants
getting
to
yes
see your
answers?
toys.
Oh, I'm so good at this game.
Apparently not.
It ain't over till it's over.
Yeah. So, component number 2.
Oh, okay. Show another component. All right.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
excitedly reading the rule book at the same time.
I think you want to make it bigger, right?
I do, man, to make it bigger.
Oh, exclamation point in a circle coin. It's grayed out on the back.
Correct. That's
It's
exactly
colored
correct.
on the front, like gray, like a gold circle ring.
Can you make it come out from behind my ears, like from thin air?
He did
You
it.
can!
Bonocore is a magician.
He's so good at parties. He's so good at parties.
I think my girlfriend's going to kill me that I opened it up without her around. She's gonna be like, how could you open that without me?
I don't know what that is.
This is like gamer porn. I use that again.
That was like my
I'm
wife
gonna have to
doesn't let
censor
me
this
watch
video.
that.
Oh dear.
Was this okay? The question is, what was the game that you last purchased?
Yes,
Was this purchased via Kickstarter?
it was not.
No.
Not
Okay, so-
kickstarted.
No, not Kickstarter.
Okay.
Okay. Is this game a...
Come on, Badger. You can win it for us here.
I know I can. I've just forgotten how to play games.
You play
Does this-
to win the game.
No, I play to have fun, like, you know, get the shark to eat the meeples and the whale to knock the boat over so the
See
people
what I have
fall
to
in the
do.
water for the shark to
See
eat.
what I have to deal with.
Yeah, but you know, I can't help it. I see Bonocoure and I think of Survive and how I love playing that game.
Great
and how
game.
Yeah, that's a great game.
And I have to thank him again for bringing it back onto the market.
You're very welcome.
You're trying to butter him up to get us better clues, I think, aren't you?
No, I'm not trying to butter. I'm not buttering
I
anybody.
really like
By the way-
Steven. He's
by the
a
way, let me-
nice boy.
We don't butter things in French. We just put cheese on it and drink it with wine.
By the way, I can't tell you how difficult it is to find components that you will not recognize because there's most of the stuff you would say, "Oh, I know what that is." Boom, and you would know exactly
Okay.
what game.
Okay.
So
my,
I am. Go ahead.
my third question is:
Okay.
Is this a medieval war game?
It is not a medieval war game.
No.
Oh, he was slow to the draw on that one. There's
have to
something
think.
going on here it's maybe not a war game, but it's medieval.
Yeah, but it might be just after the medieval period or before the medieval period, like in the 100-Year War.
There's something going on here. And we know because we quizzed him before and we know his favorite game is War of the Ring.
This is true.
And so he likes that stuff.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a wild guess because I haven't seen the game.
We haven't seen the third
Is it
component
the new
either.
Journeys. What?
We haven't seen the third component yet either.
Oh, yeah. Show us the third one. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's-
you ready for another component?
Yes, we are.
We just asked him the third question, right? What did you
We
ask?
have indeed.
Oh yeah,
we
yeah. Duh. It hit me right away when he said it. So I'm go
All
ahead.
right, maybe this probably won't do it for you either, but it says
Barbarian.
Void
Warren.
Warden. Void Warden on
Who the
A
hell?
little
Void
tile.
Warden.
it's a quite rectangular tile. Void Warden.
Void Warden. I don't know what that means.
Neither do I yet. I haven't played the game.
A Void Warden is Oh no, I've just seen the answer.
Oh, boo! Oh, because you typed that into Google.
Yeah, I typed it in to see if it was like in Wikipedia or something.
If you're
So
gonna cheat, don't tell him.
Okay.
Boo!
Ah.
Well, I don't know what a void warden is, but I had the thought when you were pausing, is it the new game? I haven't seen it, but is it the new game that it? I had it.
Come on.
Journeys to Middle Earth.
You mean Journeys in Middle Earth, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
You mean
That's the new one.
mean this one that's sitting on my shelf? It is not this one that's sitting on my shelf.
Crap. See, if I could just have glasses again.
It's right there. I don't know. Can you actually see? Yes, it was right there. You could actually see it. I was not even hiding it. See, right?
Yeah, but you got a blank space right next to it.
Yes.
So there's another Middle Earth game here that you have not let us know about. Okay, well, fourth question. So now, because you know what's going on, Badger, are you out?
Yeah, I'm kind of out, but I'm curious because in a previous answer he said no, it's not a Kickstarter.
It is not a Kickstarter. So
Okay.
you don't know what it is.
No.
You know a related item to it.
I know because the first thing that come up when I typed Void Warden was Gloomhaven.
It is not Gloomhaven.
There you go. So I did cheat.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah, not fair.
Is this a game sold at a mass market store?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I got it.
Boo!
Jaws of the Lion.
It is Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, which I got delivered here came on Sunday. I bought it on Target.com. I didn't figure, well, it's the only place to get it. I can either go there and wear a mask, or I just had it delivered.
We did not cheat, Kabuki Kid. We just used intellect and apparatuses.
They cheated Steven. That's right. They cheated me. I was going to show you other things. I was going to show you the next items you were going to get were these little cards here that I've not. So I was showing you things. I was showing you things that are not in regular Gloomhaven. I could have shown you like the deck of cards that would have been instant giveaway. I could have shown you boxes that look like this giveaway, but I kept pulling out little pieces. The piece I was going to show you soon was the little standee, but that could have been from anything.
Cool.
So that's in there too. And then I was also going to show you just the tray that comes in there, which doesn't come in the regular Gloomhaven, of course. So
nice.
Yeah, I look forward to checking this out. Of course, I'm right now in the middle of a Gloomhaven campaign. It's sitting on my game table, like right below me here. And this was just cool. It's like intro to Gloomhaven, and you can expand into it. So very cool idea. Good on my man. My man,
Isaac Closet is here, and so is Robert Geislinger from Arcane Wonders that we just talked about. We got all kinds of people popping in here.
Good to see you, Robert, or look at your name there or whatever. Good to see you.
Yeah, I listen religiously, Stephen, to the Board Game Insider podcast that you and Ignacy Chevicek do. I love them all, and when I mow my lawn, that's one of my go-tos. That and the Secret Cabal, because I can usually it takes me about 4 hours to do everything, and I can listen to the Secret Cabal.
Toilet time. Toilet time. 4 hours. Get it out.
It's the most therapeutic thing I do in my life.
Yeah, those Secret Cabal podcasts are a little long, that's for sure.
I love it. But anyway, you were talking about having the regular Gloomhaven, but it was hard for you to get to the table. And this one here might be really right down your alley.
Well, no, I mean, I started, and it's funny, Kabuki Kid is saying that she even heard me saying that I had this delivered to my house because I was bashing on Jason the other day, and she heard me talk about this. But I have Gloomhaven on the table, and I've been playing it once to twice a week for the last several weeks. We're like in like the 9th scenario, and we're, following the cool story arcs and everything like that. So I only got it out during COVID-19. That's sort of another like bright spot that I've been able to take out some things that I would normally not have the time to. I would have been on the road of those last 14 weeks. I would have been on the road 8 of them or something like that. So to get the game out and make sure I learned it, make sure I did it would be no way. But during this, watch some videos, do some stuff. We're playing Gloomhaven now. It's been a great game to play with the family, with my girlfriend.
So great to see Isaac's success with Frosthaven and Gloomhaven and all the things that he's doing. This was really wonderful.
Yeah, he is an awesome guy, a gentle soul, I like to call him. Really, really nice guy, and I am so happy for him and Cephalofair Games. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, number 2.
Question number 2. Hopefully, no, he hasn't read the script, so he's probably not gonna. He's probably not got a pen and paper ready. Do a little drawing.
Okay,
Because-
I see part number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it. What's the? Okay, I got it. Okay, I'm ready, and I got my paper right here.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay, so what game is he most excited about getting? And he's gonna do a quick doodle.
Oh,
and
and I have to draw a doodle.
Yeah.
Oh, my
It's kind of
It was in the notes.
illustration.
Don't worry about it. It was just in the notes.
It's just in the notes.
It's
What is this thing in notes that he's talking about?
It's in the sand, Dad.
Where'd you bury the car?
These kind of
The
things.
sand.
Old English advert.
This is dead air space that we have to fill.
What dead air?
Do.
Dead air.
do.
Dead air. Dead air. Dead air. Dead air. Dead air. Dead air. That's my dog.
Da-da-da-da.
That's not my dog.
That is not my
Is
dog.
that your dog? Does your dog bite?
Does your dog bite? No, my dog doesn't bite.
Not my dog.
Said your dog does not bite. That's not my dog.
It's Clisel. He pulled the wrong tooth.
Get him!
Kill him.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to start with just this. Let's see if your minds can wander to what that could be.
Cube.
Looks
Okay.
like a box inside of a box, like
I'm
an
gonna say.
escape room.
It's a box.
All right. I was gonna say cube. I was gonna say first edition Agricola.
Okay, a cube.
It's
You know,
a
he's
box.
drawing it on like a post-it note, for God's sake. He doesn't even have a real sheet of paper.
All right.
Okay, so
Picture
he's doing
number 2.
more pictures. He's going to post them together with post-it notes on a regular side,
He's
maybe on a
actually-
poster board.
He's actually making up a brand new game for his line.
Hey, this is the way we need to do it in the future.
It's a drawing game where you draw the drawings individually and then you have to put them together to create the final image.
Hey, there's a game about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know there's
can't
a song
remember
about
it, but you put all the little things together. They're transparent, and they look kind of cool. I saw somebody doing it recently.
What was it? They're like the overlay cards.
I'm not a big party game guy, so.
No. I'm the only one that likes to let my hair down, I think.
Oh, he has a big sheet. Now it's
Okay.
a cube, and then down on the bottom there's
It's a box.
It's a big box
big
by
ball.
the look of it.
It's a
And
big
it
ball.
looks, I wonder what it is. I think I know what it might be.
Oh, what is he most excited about getting? Terraforming Mars.
Mars.
box.
And
Well,
literally,
that-
it's not going to come out for a year, but I'm like, so
Wow.
want to get my.
Totally
get-
jazzed. I get
So I
it.
know that's a little promotion there, but it's true. I mean, I was going to draw Frosthaven, but how much can I promote Isaac? Come on, I already told you he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I do. I'm really looking forward to Frosthaven too. So that would have been my second thing, but my big box.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it does look wonderful, like the insert. I've only seen that been done once, an insert like that, where it's like layered.
It's an epic insert and great pieces.
Well, I totally get what you're doing there too, because you know when you're developing something and you invest so much in it, your whole life is in it. If you're passionate about what you're doing, you really care about it, right? Same gig.
It
So
absolutely.
I remember
Steven's had
when
his revenge.
we got our first aluminum rail, and to see that our design actually worked, and when I actually saw the first product come off the line, I mean, I just wept. I can't believe this is as good as I had hoped.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean that's the fulfilling thing about this industry. You're actually creating something, and then not only are you creating it, you're creating it with your passion and to give joy out to gamers around the world. So
exactly,
and that's why it really hurts when you get bad reviews sometimes. But besides that,
right?
Besides that, it really is a passion thing that we do, and we're happy about doing it.
That's
Well,
great.
very good. Number 3.
Number 3, the game with the current favorite game of Stephen Bonocoure, the one that he dreams about, the one that he thinks about while he's publishing other games. He's thinking, why couldn't I publish this game? And we're going to do this with 5 one-word clues from Stephen. And in between each clue, we're going to try and guess which
And
game
it's not
it
War
is.
of the Ring because we did that one before.
Not allowed to use War of the Ring. Okay,
So,
it's honest.
One word.
I guess I have to be honest, right?
Yeah, you have to be honest.
So I'm just going to give you a one-word clue, right?
Yeah.
Should we say that he can't do Terraforming Mars again?
It won't be Terraforming Mars.
Okay.
It'll be Gloomhaven, don't worry.
He didn't even get a clue out, and we guessed it, didn't we?
Well, it's
We guessed
true. I was going to
guessed
say
it based on facial recognition.
I was going to say scoundrel. I don't know
We're
if that
the
would,
winners.
I don't know if that would have helped you. That's one of the characters, the one I'm playing. I
Yeah.
was going to say brute.
We're
Character.
the champions.
You're the champion. You guys win. And it is.
Wow.
It's brilliant. And it's literally like right here. If I could lift the damn thing up because it's so heavy and it's like over here on the other side of the table.
So what's the thing that keeps bringing you back to it? Why is it, haunting your dreams at the moment?
And it almost is. I mean, like, because you kind of have to have a lot of time. Even though the game is set up, it's always here ready. It's still, there's a setup time. There's a breakdown time. There's the game time. And then there's also like the in-between scenarios time. If you've played the game, you got to go back to Gloomhaven. You got to do something, take a city event, yada, yada, yada. So it's, this is so my style of game. It's so well designed. While it is a very fiddly game, it's like literally like a billion pieces that you've got to manage on the board. I mean, we have them in these little cups here that we can help manage the game. The design of the game is so wonderful and so thematic, and you're playing out this storyline, and you're using you're running your character like you would in a role-playing game, and you care about it and you're leveling it, and the character's got a goal. It's got an ultimate goal to do, and once you do that, the character retires. It's so cool. The character goes to the great character land in the sky, and you then can get another character and bring that in at a similar level and stuff. So I just love everything. And the mechanic of the game where both you have Kabuki's telling me that I'm too predictable. Thank you, Kabuki. So both mechanic of the game that your cards are not only like your powers and your actions that you'll take, but they're also like a life resource, because once you go through all the cards that you can play and you take rests and you get them back, you're always going to be losing some of these cards. Once you run out of cards, you're exhausted, not dead. You're exhausted. You can't participate in the scenario anymore. And your compatriot has got to try to finish the scenario alone until they get exhausted, in which time you both fail and you've got to come back and try it again later on, hopefully with more knowledge, and you can do it. So everything about this game is great. The length it takes each scenario is a bit long, but it's worth the, doing it.
How long does a typical scenario take?
Solidly 90 minutes, because it's just a lot of thinking and stuff like that, at least. Probably longer. I never really time it. It might be 2 hours, but again, that's the scenario. Then you've got setup, you got breakdown, we tend to also do the city stuff too, because Gloomhaven, the city, is on the board, and that's your sort of base of operations. So you go out, you go on the road, you do a road event, you go to do your scenario, you automatically come back, you do all your cleanups, checking off the things on your character, leveling the character, do a city event, and then we're poised to go out again to start again. That's a solid block of time, 2.5 hours at least for us. We're probably slow players.
Are you playing it primarily 2-player with Paula, or
only 2 players? We're only playing 2 players. Yeah. 2 players, 1 character each. That was enough. We're brand new players. I mean, now I'm experienced, but it's if I had 4 people to play with, I would, be doing that. But
that add a lot to the play time if you have more players, or
I don't know. The game will scale. More monsters will be on the board. I think it's probably going to play in a similar amount of time, but I can't be sure about that because more players are killing more monsters. So I think it's, and you can solo the game too. I think you always use 2 characters when you solo it. I think don't get me wrong.
There's like 25 scenarios or something like that in it.
There's 100.
Okay,
I believe it's 99. I believe that's the number. So the rest of the box is like over there on that side of the room. The main box is over here. I think that book contains 99 scenarios. Plus,
I was listening to Rob Rouse and Christina Rouse on Blue Peg, Pink Peg, good friends of mine, and Rob has actually helped develop a scenario for Frosthaven, but they were talking about this replayability and it's immense.
It's immense. I mean, by the time that I finish, if I ever finish playing the entire thing, I will have played, I guarantee you the statement, I will have played this game more hours than any game I've ever played in my life, which is saying something that if I continue to commit the time to doing so, it will become my most played game in number of hours played. That includes everything.
So you both really look forward to it.
We do. It's a nice little event that we have going on whenever we say, okay, tonight, nothing up, no happy hour, no this. Let's get in one scenario, and we'll.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty reminiscent to Seventh Continent, which is pretty much that as well. There's lots of takedown set up, but then you got this whole adventure. You stop when you want. You carry on playing. It's always on the table. And as you said, it has become my most played game because it's just so addictable. You just want to go that one extra step beyond that mountain range or into that forest just to see what's there, and maybe you should kill it or run away from it.
Yep. Loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Okay.
That's fantastic. Well, we are going to keep this thing moving. I know Steven's got to go today in only about a little over half an hour. So we want to move on to our Babble topic. But before we do that, we'll talk about our other sponsor.
Who's that?
This video was made possible with the help of Game Toppers. Upgrade your gaming experience with a Game Topper.
Hey. Well, I'm just going to quickly show you a couple things I'm super excited about. But we're like 95% done with our fulfillment in the United States. The only thing we've been waiting on due to COVID-related delays was some of our accessories that are being made in Michigan and in Wisconsin. But one of the things I just received in as our proofs of our brand new dice accessory trays that actually have little legs that hook on the rail of the game topper. It has components for your bits, but we also just got in our mold injected dice towers, and these fit right on top of this tray that allows you to roll your dice right down into this dice corral that we have. In addition to that, we just got in our new collapsible cup holder samples. These things are flipping amazing. They pop out like this here, and then they pop right back together like that. They can hold large water bottles. They can hold your coffee cup. They can hold your cans of whatever your favorite beverages are. And they can also be a dice tray that you can hold components in. And they connect right inside of our special new trays. And these things are just fantastic. We also have some acrylic covers that actually go on these parts now. I am so thrilled about these things. It's been a long time coming. And when people get these, they are going to be so... we just took it. Our last design was very good. People loved our cup holders. But this here just made it so much better. These are made out of a product called Sarlik that are actually dishwasher safe. They're food grade, so you can put chips and dip in here.
And they exterminate. Because they're made of Sarliks.
Sarlik. not
I was thinking Sarlacc from Star Wars, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the pit of Sarlacc is right here.
Shows how
these we've been waiting on these components. We shipped out all of the toppers to people in the United States, but because of the delay, we just decided, hey, we're going to ship them everything we have. We'll ship the accessories when they come in at our own expense. We're almost like 10 days away from doing that. And then our orders are going to Canada, and then a whole container going to Europe, and then another container going to Australia. And so we're super pumped about all that. You can go to GameToppersLLC.com. You can still late pledge. There was over 40 stretch goals that we unlocked during our campaign. And until we're ready to send that order to Europe, we're going to keep all of those sales available for everybody. But if you live in the United States, we ship out those products in 2 to 3 business days. Over 16 different thematic game mats, all the different styles, and in over 9 sizes. I have 162 SKUs of game mats, all in stock. And you can get them within just a couple days.
So, Burky, not only, and I mean this from the heart, not only do you make unbelievably great products, and everybody listening here should be thinking about Game Toppers for their game accessories. Not only do you make great products, you're the only man who can plug their companies as good as I can plug my company. So there you go. You are Bonocoure Jr. How's that?
Well,
plugging your company.
Show, I said I've learned a lot from you, and this is kind of funny. We'll close with this thought, but there's 2 people in the industry that probably don't know how much they influenced me, and one of them is you, and one of them is Jamie Stegmaier.
And yet I don't get invited to the cigar party. So it's
in the spam folder. It's in the spam folder.
And you know what, Burky, you inspire me as well. I've actually made some of my own cup holders for my Game Topper. This is one of them. And as you can see, it does that. And this is another one. This is a dip holder, so you can like hold your dip when you're munching on.
I thought you said a different word there. So
I thought you said a different word too.
You can use it as a back scratch,
family or
a low scratch if you need to. So yeah, but look out for that. I'll plug that quickly. This is a game called Arm Pal, which is coming on Kickstarter, and there's a big robot arm which comes with this. But it's in the garage because it's...
Yeah, I saw you do it. I just saw you posted a video on Board Game. Everybody should, right?
Yeah. It's got water hydraulics in it, but it's a board game that you make and then you play.
But anyway, thank you, Stephen, for the kind words. But absolutely, I have learned a lot from you, how you manage your booth, how you are always there for the people. And I've taken those things that I've heard and I've seen how you promote. Without being ashamed of promoting, because I'm not ashamed of my products. I'm not ashamed to talk about them. And some people go, oh, you're a shill. Yeah, well, absolutely. I love what I'm doing. I believe this benefits people, and I'm all about talking about it.
There's no reason at all you shouldn't be proud of what you're doing. If you're making a good product, you're proud of it, you're passionate about it, and you can show people why this is a good fit for them. And I always say, like, not every game, and I produce a lot of games, not every game of mine is for every person. That would be ridiculous. But there is something in my catalog for every person, right? There's a difference there, right? Here's all my games. I don't expect everybody to do that. But you know what? You like that kind of game? Check out Cottage Garden. Check out one of my roll and writes. I can fit games, to somebody. So when they come to the booth, I don't try to sell them every game. Well, like, what do you like? What do you normally play?
The other thing I've learned from you, Stephen, is generosity. I've always been that as my core being, but I've noticed how generous you are with people and how you're generous with your time. You're generous with helping others. And that's going to segue right into our topic. Jamie Stegmeyer, too. I just got a quick shout out to that man because I listened to his audiobook twice all the way through. I read, I think, all of his posts before we even went to Kickstarter, and I gleaned and learned so much information. But mostly what I learned from him is following his Kickstarters and seeing how responsive he was to every person. And I've taken it as a commitment that I reach out to every backer and I treat them just like I want to be treated. I care about them, and I don't want them to have an antiseptic sales experience. I want them to be personally valued. And I've learned that from other people. So you can learn things a couple ways. You can find out what people are doing and you can copy them, or you can find out what people are doing wrong and do the opposite.
Do it better. Sure. Absolutely. Burky, you're a great guy. Thank you for all those compliments. Hopefully I can live up to some of them. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. All right. We're going to move right on into the back.
And now it's time for the Babble, 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 Burky and Badger's board game Babble.
Oh, we're back.
Put it away, Stephen.
We're going to talk about a topic called Back the Comeback. And I don't know how many of you may have heard about this topic, but I first heard about it actually through Stephen Bonocoure, and he had a T-shirt on. And this was very interesting to me. And then after the fact, I started to research it a little bit, and I thought, what better person to talk about this than Stephen? And we're talking about COVID-19. We're talking about the fact that we've been locked up due to this, conventions canceling, the state of our industry, which he talks a lot about on Board Games Insider. But I think this is a really apropos topic as we start to see companies opening. And so tell us a little bit just about Back the Comeback, Stephen.
So backthecomeback.com was started by Alliance Game Distributors. Now, for those who don't know, Alliance Game Distributors are the largest hobby game distributor in the country. They also own Diamond Comics, or the same family owns Diamond Comics, who are the largest comic book distributors. Obviously, there's a huge crossover between comics and games, normally even sold exactly in the same place. So Alliance Game Distributors reached out to numbers of publishers and to some charitable organizations and created this thing called backthecomeback.com. And what is this? This is a way, and thank you for showing this on the screen, and I want to continue to say backthecomeback.com as we can get all this information. The entire concept here is that our comeback will be bigger than our setback. What does that mean? That we have all of us, I mean, in our personal lives, in every aspect, we have been set back by what's happening right now, the COVID-19 crisis. And we believe, in general terms, that we can become bigger and better than our setback was. Our comeback will be bigger than our setback. And specifically what we're talking about is for the friendly local game store, right? So almost every one of those across the United States, possibly across the entire world, was closed down and may still be closed down for weeks, months during this crisis. So what we're asking people that are listening to us today is to, when you feel safe, when it's okay to go outside, when you're allowed to in certain places, go to your friendly local game store, take a picture, do like a selfie picture at your with the game store in the background, do a selfie there. If you can afford to and they're allowing you, go into the store and buy something or do a curbside pickup if that's all they're allowing you to do. And very importantly in the entire thing, and this is maybe the most important thing, take that selfie, show that game, post it on your social media saying, hey, I visited, in my area, Prodigy Games in Lake Worth, Florida. And I took pictures with the staff. They didn't know me. They're mostly a comics shop, but they had a decent game. They didn't know me. And I said, oh, they said, yeah, we sell terraforming. Terraformers on there. So took pictures with them. I bought a bunch of games from them. We took some photos. I posted on my social media. Now, my social media, of course, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. So a lot of people are able to see that. But I'm sure you've got enough people that are going to make people that you know that might be gamers, and they're going to see that you did that, and you're going to use hashtag back the comeback. Do that, and we'll get more and more people doing that. They'll see it. They'll go out to their local game stores, and the whole chain starts. That's the basic premise that I want everybody here to be able to do if they can. And I know a lot of my friends did it too. I saw a lot of my friends going out to game stores. Jason Levine, the day that I mentioned it to him, he was that day at Cool Stuff Inc., Hollywood, Florida. That's his local game store, the one closest to his house. He was there buying bags of games, taking pictures. Jason's collection of games is out of control if you don't know that. It's crazy. But he still went to Cool Stuff, bought a whole bunch of games, gave them the shout out online. I then did it again another week where I went to Cool Stuff, and the same day I went to Adventure Game Store in Davies, Florida, and I've shouted those guys out as well. The more of us that can do that, the better. I hope maybe you guys can do that. Well, there's a little bit more to this, but I'm going to challenge you guys, if you can get out to one of your local game stores and do that and shout them out, hashtag back the comeback, and let's get more and more people knowing that we've got to help out for us, the local game store, which is the backbone of the gaming community locally.
I just read a report today on ICV2 that came out and talked about overall brick and mortar stores. Initially, I thought I was talking more board game centric brick and mortar, but that wasn't actually what it was referring to. It was a national information about brick and mortar stores in general. We're going to be taking, they anticipated an 18% drop, but they were experiencing like a 23% increase in online. Well, obviously, Stephen, you and I both have an affection for the local game store.
Sure.
But there's something about our hobby that I think we're very passionate about this hobby. And I don't think that statistic has to apply to the gaming community. I think we can rally around the local game stores. And many of them have been just, I mean, it's difficult to be in business. That you typically have a decreasing profit margin in business and increasing costs. And so staying in business requires you to constantly adapt, constantly evolve your business model, continue to be creative and think outside of the box. I mentioned this. You encouraged me, actually, Stephen, about this a while ago. I do a lot of different things as far as giving goes, but I tend to not want to talk about it. I kind of have the philosophy of not letting your left hand know what your right hand. I don't really want a recognition, a reward for that, publicly. So that's been my paradigm in life. I have no problem with doing promotions and giveaways and things like that we do for marketing purposes. But when it comes to philanthropy, I tend to not want to toot my horn about it.
Sure.
But I posted when you first came with this concept, and I told you a little quick story on Facebook. We have a local game store, and I think this will encourage people because it encouraged me after talking to you about this. But we have a local store called Your Turn Board Games in Alexandria, Minnesota. Friends of mine, they're a small store struggling to stay open, small community, wonderful people. Beautiful play area for people to come and enjoy, new titles. They struggle with moving inventory, and I knew that. And I just had this idea. I thought, well, we got our stimulus check. I didn't really need that stimulus check. And I thought, what can I do with this stimulus check? So I got thinking about that. I called them up and I said, tell you what, I said, I got an idea. Tell me if you like this idea. I said, I bet you have some inventory that's kind of dead and that you need moving. I said, what if I would buy up some of that inventory at full price so you don't lose any money on it, but we can cycle that inventory and then you give away that product to other people if they buy a certain dollar amount. So maybe they spend $100 and then they get, and so he took the idea a little further. He made a Plinko game where it had a red at the bottom. It had a red zone, a blue zone, and a gray zone. And he has some game toppers in the store. So he had a red mat, a blue mat, and a gray mat. And then he had stacks of games in these piles. And if you spent this much money, you got this extra stack of games. It might have had one really good game and then 2 smaller games with it that were good games. These are all good titles, but ones that he wanted to move.
Sure.
So he goes, this is amazing. He goes, I can't believe this. And I said, well, no, just if it works, I want to help you. So anyway, he does it over Memorial Day weekend. He calls me up that Friday night and he goes, Burky, he said, I got to be honest with you. I didn't think this would work. I didn't think anybody would really show up. He said, we totally sold out everything we had.
Wow.
He said, in fact, and I told him, I said, don't mention me or don't mention Game Toppers. Just say you had an angel donor. I said, who knows? Maybe somebody else will want to be an angel. And
That's amazing, Burky. That's really, really generous of you. Thank you for doing such a wonderful, generous thing for a game store that you just are passionate about because it's part of like your culture. That's just wonderful. Thank you.
Well, thank you. No, it's again, I feel uncomfortable talking about it, but when he said we sold it all out, and he said he had 2 more people say they wanted to sponsor a day, and he ended up running it the entire weekend. He brought in like $4,500, and he said
that's
he was
great.
in tears, and he said, "I really thought we were going to close the store, and I have hope again."
Fantastic, man. Thank you for doing such a thing. That is just amazing.
Well, what if we all could do something like that? And that's why I got stirred up, honestly, because I didn't want to talk about that. But if our talking about it could help encourage others and this whole back to comeback thing, well, look what we could do. Maybe we could really, and I mean, maybe it's a little self-serving. We want these retailers to stay in business for our products too, but ultimately it's just about our community, right?
Absolutely. And besides, what you did was way generous. And what I did was I just used my personality, my celebrity, and my social media to do some shout outs. There are some things that besides other people in a small way doing it again for their local game store by shouting out, there's another portion of Back to Comeback that I want to mention. And if you could put that up there again, there's a charity auction that's going to be going on.
Yes.
So if you just scroll down that page, the first part's about spreading the word. We talked about that. The second part is about a charity auction that you can register for. And in July, this charity auction is going to be run by Alliance, and people are donating things to it. Alliance has put $50,000 worth of games into the charity auction already. Other people are putting things in that are very unique and things like that. And they're going to run this auction. All the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds are going to go to 3 different charities that they're going to be giving the money to, 2 different charities. And one is something that is very near and dear to my heart. Both of them are gamer-related charities. One's a book industry charitable foundation, BINC. The second one is the Jack Vassell Memorial Fund.
Yeah.
Which Tom set up about 7 or 8 years ago and is now the largest gamer charity that I know. And this charity is also about giving money to gamers who have suffered hardships. And I don't like to talk about this myself, but I am on the board of directors of the Jack Vassell Memorial Fund. So if you have suffered hardship, you can go over to jackvassell.org and you can apply to get funding for your hardship. And it's a great charity. I'm very proud to have been asked to be on that board. I've been on the board for a few years. And this is where this money is going to go. So if you can bid, so in this case, if you are a gamer out there, watch for the when they start the auction and bid on some stuff. Bid as generously as you can give to something like this, because all that money is going to be funneled back to these 2 charities, which help gamers in particular.
How do people donate if they wanted to donate to it?
You can click. You can register for the auction, and you can then be there to just buy the auction items. But if you just want to donate to the charities, right below where they have the charity auction section on this page on backthecomeback.com, there is a way to donate. Just donate straight to BINC Foundation or to Jack Vassell Memorial Fund.
Wow,
So
fantastic.
thank you. I think that's a really great way to end the show. Be generous and love each other, because we will get through this together.
Well, and what other things would you say that we can do to help local stores?
Go there, try to buy something, give them a shout out. I mean, that's the message. Let's keep it simple, right? Not everybody's going to take their entire stimulus check as you did and donate it to the store or create something. But if you can just go there, bring your friends there. Now, you might not be able to game there yet. That might not be safe. You might not feel comfortable to do that. That's fine. And like here in Florida, we're in like one of the hot spots in the US right now. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to be sitting in game stores right now, but I can go, put my mask on, check things out, buy a game, giving them my shout out. I plan on doing this for a while and just directing other people to do so. And meanwhile, if you want to also go and donate money to this cause, that's a great thing as well.
Yeah.
Did you have any questions for Stephen, Barry?
Yeah, just one very, very quick one. Do you think now that after the pandemic has shown that China supplies lots and lots of materials for the board game industry, do you think that the world is going to change and then we're going to start? Because I know in France, Macron wants companies to start producing their own stuff instead of buying it abroad and then putting it into their package and making their product. Oh. Do you think that's going to be a key thing which is going to happen? I mean, is Stronghold thinking about doing that?
So the short answer is, for the game industry, it's probably not going to happen in a material way. The bigger answer is for the macro economy and for strategic products. No matter how much we'd like to think that board games are strategic products for the economy and for our personal well-being, they're probably not. But let's talk about the medical industry. Let's talk about drug manufacturing. 100%. We're going to see lots of these things coming back to the local countries. Yeah. And in general terms, the Western world doing more of this to make sure that we are charting our own course on certain things that are just too important to leave it to another country that may be not as friendly to us in all regards.
Yeah, we've seen in France that face masks companies have been set up, and also paracetamols are now going to be manufactured in France instead of. So yeah. So
I think that that's a significant thing that will be happening and must happen. Yeah. Must happen. You can't be reliant for strategic products. However, board games, they're not strategic. We'll continue to manufacture. We have multiple places we manufacture, but we do a significant amount. Terraforming Mars is not one of them, which is interesting. Terraforming Mars is actually done in Europe. It's done in Germany and in the United States. It's one of the few games that we. It's the only game I've ever manufactured in the United States. All the initial printing was done in the United States. Ludofact USA, and it's now mostly done at Ludofact Germany, and has always been the key portion. But a lot of our other games are done in China. They'll continue to be. There's no chance of games being infected. That's not the way the virus is spread. So that's not an issue. Will we change that? I don't see it, not in the short term, but we can easily shift to other forms of manufacturing if we needed to. It's just not something we have to do in this new world that we live in.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting time that we live in, and I know with 95% of our product is made in the United States, but we do get some product from China, particularly some storage bags and some of our mats.
And all my product is made right here in this room, soundtracks and everything. So I am lucky.
Excellent.
If you need a soundtrack for Terraforming Mars, see Stephen and pressure him.
Well, so
hopefully we won't see disruptions in supply chain. I've noticed already that we have upward cost in shipping expenses and different things of that nature. Their logistics are taking longer than normal because of the worldwide pandemic. I don't know. You've probably been seeing some of that too, but maybe less so in Germany.
We haven't had any logistic problems. I mean, we had the funny thing is like right before like the whole thing really went south, we had huge supply. We had already printed a very good supply of all of our key products. So Terraforming Mars never went out of stock or even close to it. So and other games, other big games in the Indie Boards and Cards line, Coup and Resistance, we already had all of our products ready, so that wasn't an issue. Other companies did have an issue, and our planning was just good in general, having nothing to do with this crisis. We got lucky, we didn't know that was going to happen, of course, but it just happened that we did not have a problem logistically. Our supply chain was completely fine. In fact, I don't think I've mentioned this. We're actually up 10% year over year, which on top line revenue, which is pretty amazing in this thing. We had this huge dip, obviously, when all of the distributors closed down for about a month or so, like close to 2 months, huge dip. But Amazon sales were through the roof, so it balanced it out. So we're up 10%. Stronghold Games brand is up 10% year to date, which is really good, all things considering where so many companies are teetering on the brink of extinction.
Yeah, congratulations. I heard that about Stonemaier Games too. They're doing very well, and and so people are still playing games. That's the good news.
Absolutely are, and buying them too, which is great.
I think we're going to wrap up the Babble topic with that. And again, we would encourage you to check out backthecomeback.com, support your local stores, find out what you can do just to be good to others around you, and encourage those that might be going through difficult times, and encourage them to join other positive things that are happening that would help people through this difficult time. Stephen, so grateful for you being on the show, man. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're like me. We're just totally swamped out of our minds, and thank you for taking a long block of your time to help us do this show.
No, this has been great. Thank you. Could I just make some couple of final little comments and plugs, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I want to give you an opportunity too, where people can find you and your Kickstarter and stuff. Go ahead.
So quickly, obviously the Kickstarter, go over there, Terraforming Mars Big Box. You'll see the options. You got the small-ish box option, the big box option. You could pick up the expansions and stuff like that too if you haven't, if you only have the base game, or you can buy the whole thing if you don't even have Terraforming Mars. So many options at Kickstarter.com for Terraforming Mars Big Box. Check that out.
3 days left.
3 days. Go soon. A very important thing to mention here is that at 9 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, I will be on the Dice Tower Summer Spectacular. That's Tom. He's doing this virtual media event, I guess. Not a virtual convention. You can't play games. They're going to be doing top 10 lists. They're going to be playing some like live plays and things like that. But Ignacy and I, with guest Tom, we're going to be doing Board Games Insider Live. That's tomorrow, which is July 1st at 9 a.m. And not only are we doing that, which is going to be cool and fun to do with the three of us together, I will be making a very major, I would say, earth-shattering announcement on the show live. It'll be the first time we've mentioned what that is. You'll be able to ask questions about it and things like that too.
He's going to be at that
YouTube. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This will be. You'll have to go and find. It's on YouTube. Just type in Dice Tower Summer Spectacular. I believe it's on the Dice Tower's YouTube channel. But if you type Dice Tower Summer Spectacular, it'll show you the list of events. You can click on the link, and it, like right now, if you went there and you clicked on our event at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, it would say starting in whatever that is, like 16 hours or something like that.
With the countdown.
Very, 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 very big announcement that I will be making for the first time there, 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, while we do Board Games Insider Live. Just the other places you can find Stronghold is strongholdgames.com, of course. Sign up for the newsletter there. Very active on Twitter at Stronghold Games. Also on Facebook at /Stronghold Games. You can just check us out there as well. And thank you so much for having me. I really hope to be back at conventions for everybody out there, seeing you all again out in 2021.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. You can also check us out at Burky and Badger, Board Game Babble Show on YouTube and on Twitter. Our Board Game Geek Guild is number 2248. You can check out our polls. We didn't get to our poll talk this time, but you can check us out at Board Games Everybody Should and BoardGameTheater.com. And you can see past episodes of the Burky and Badger Show and get our professionally audio edited show by Sir Badger the Brave on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. We likewise want to thank our sponsor again, Arcane Wonders. Check them out at arcanewonders.com. And on our next show, we'll be announcing a huge, spectacular giveaway that we're going to be doing with Arcane Wonders.
Woohoo!
So excited about that. We'll tell you more about that later. And Badger, with that, you can send us off.
Bye-bye.
We're so glad we had this time together. Now it's time to go. It won't be long until we have another show. So keep us in mind, get online. Burky and Badger will be back in no time.
In no